Hello and welcome back to MEIOU and Taxes Teutonic Order. I'm still pumped, by the way, can you tell? Alright, let's get our boats and can you guys protect trade? We don't have any barks, but yeah, that's a shame. Nothing we can really do with these then. We'll just leave them there. So, we can build in our provinces. What would we like to build? The screen for buildings is crazy new. Let's go to our capital a second. 2 rural pop, 1 urban pop. We can't click any buttons here to increase this. This increases on its own or decreases. So we have farming efficiency 30%. That means each one of these rural pops creates 1 food. And these pops are 10,000 people, by the way, so there's roughly 30,000 people here. They create 1 food each. If you have a farming efficiency of 0. A farm efficiency 30%, each one of these is creating 1.3 food. So that's how you cover the food for your urban pops. Although if we go into here and examine the province population data, our rural population isn't 20,000. It's 20,110. We just can't put decimal places in this because paradox. So there is a lot of potential in this area. If we actually go to Danzig, it may be better to show. Our urban saturation is 50%. That means like there's a lot of gravity. We can pull more people into it. There's potential here to grow more pops. Grow being a relative word. But yeah, we're not actually growing per year though. It's very strange. Is 50% bad, or is 100% bad? Or is 200%? I don't even know. Something we're gonna have to look at. Yeah, let's open Marienburg again. Population data. There's 500, like almost 500% urban saturation here. Urban growth per year is 0. Our gravity is 0.2. Okay. Like I said, today is the first time I've played this mod. I've watched quite a lot of Demian's streams, but playing yourself and just watching a stream is totally different. Totally different. So, state is quite powerful. Let's have a look what we can do in here. So, stability, very, very different. We can't click a button to increase or decrease, well, you can't decrease, but we can't click a button to increase stability. It doesn't exist. Don't worry about that ever. What you have to do, though, is wait for your stability to go up or down on its own. So, let's pause again. Our current stability points is 21.75. We gain 11.75 per year. And when we get to 150, we'll go up a stability. Now, the effects of stability, I believe, are the same. I mean, they may be different, but it will be in the same vein, at least. And stability is kind of important. You're basically using it as a currency. So if we go into our greater nobles, we need to find these buttons. List their privileges. This one here, can't click it. That was dumb. Alright, we can revoke this privilege, but there's a chance that we lose even up to 3 stability from revoking it. So you want to wait until you've got positive stability before you revoke, just in case you lose it, because you do not want to be in negative stability. If you are, and these guys ask for a privilege, you can't say no. You can only say no if you have 0 or above. So, yeah. Unpause again. Being here, we would like to be in the Holy Roman Empire, I believe. Can we add our province? We could if we were friends with the Emperor, which is Bohemia. So let's start improving relations here. We could probably do it. You don't have any rivals. That's interesting. See, our corruption is growing because our guys have greater noble corruption plus 0.29, lesser noble corruption, burgher corruption. We could root it out. How much money are we actually making? 1.68. Yeah, let's try and root out corruption while it's still small. That might be a good idea. Although I am under no delusions I'm not going to be able to keep on top of this for long. We're also gaining inflation. So if we go into our provinces now, we can see. Go into the buildings one, I think. Yeah. There's not many buildings here, so the urban infrastructure is quite small. All we've got is a farm estate, which is probably built by the nobles, and local fortifications, these blue castles. These do need sieging down properly, like any other castle, but sieges go much, much faster. Let's see if we can find a siege. There we go. Each siege phase is 17 days, and it's also made faster by having more troops there. Garrison outnumbered there, minus 20%. The more troops you have on the province, the faster it'll go. God damn, I was looking at that. Stop. Go siege something else. Find me a siege. Here we go. So, before, like, in real history, we know that sieges, they often ran into problems with disease. Like, disease outbreak is in vanilla EU4. Like, if I think it's you roll like a 0, you get a disease outbreak. Not so here. However, every single army that is sieging, every month there is a roll to see if there is going to be a disease. And these diseases are a lot more impactful. And basically they changed it to being a monthly tick because with sieges being so fast, you would probably just get mowed down like a machine gun if you were to have the system linked. Right, what have we got? Lithuania has been discovered. You bastards, get out of my country. Right, Poland is allied with you. I don't like that. Are you independent? I think you are. You know what? I don't like you. And you're hostile. And we want this. So hopefully our vassal will fabricate claims. That would be quite nice. 30. We need 40, don't we? Risk of discovery, 2%. Hope you don't discover me. Alright. I was actually planning on playing as Byzantium, or Empire of the Romans, when I first heard about this mod. But then I saw Demian had streamed like 30 hours of it in a week. I was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should play someone else. Because there's no way that I would be as good as he is, considering he is a mod dev for this mod. So, yeah. Okay. Close again so we can talk about the mod. We have here the, where is it? Important center of trade. This is not static. This can move around. So, say we lose quite a lot of our urban pop, or we just get some devastation or famine, or something happens, or somebody else somewhere in this trade node becomes a very strong trading power, we could lose this and that place could get it. Say, I don't know, Gotland, who is a vassal under Sweden. Interesting. Say Gotland became like a super trading nation. They could steal this from me. There's also different modifiers like what's it called? Largest city on the subcontinent, or largest city on the continent. I believe France has that. Let's see. There we go. Largest city on the continent. They also have a bunch of other modifiers. Important center of trade, important center of production, local arts and intellectual center. Like, this is huge. There's a lot of modifiers, and they're not they're not static, they can move around. Largest city on the continent for Cairo, or Al-Qahira, whatever. Part of European food market. Interesting. There's a lot of modifiers here. Stop oppressing the Miaphysites, you bastards. They make carpet. Level 20? That's insane. Insane. The Mamluks are a huge power. I have no idea how they end up losing to the Ottomans. It's crazy. Alright, let's keep going. What is our force limit? 7. I think I'm going to build a cav and a halberdier. So, Marienburg. I think I want to build a road. Roads increase your communication efficiency. Now, that's another thing we have to talk about. See, this mod is so extensive. There's so much to it. Communication efficiency basically means how well your empire can communicate with your capital. And if the answer is not very well, then you're kind of screwed in that the far reaches of your empire are going to need more autonomy so they can, you know, they can work on their own. That's kind of what happened to many large empires. They couldn't talk very well with the far reaches, so they became increasingly autonomous until they were barely even part of the country. Roads basically speed up the runners, so how fast you can get your guys over to the far reaches of your empire so that they can talk. Of course, roads aren't exactly the most efficient way for me to get from, say, my capital to Viruma. So another thing you can have are docks, and we actually don't have any dock. Oh, we do. We have a fishing port. So if we had also a fishing port in, say, Sarima and Viruma, we'd have our communicator going from here, getting on a boat, going up to Sarima, then up to Viruma. That would lower the communication efficiency. Sorry, increase the communication efficiency. And what that does is reduces core cost. It'll be in there somewhere. Reduces core cost, it reduces your autonomy, it reduces your unrest, I believe. It's easier to see when you have actually conquered somewhere, but maybe we can see here. There, monthly autonomy change for superb communication. Local unrest, -26. Yeah, it's pretty great. But city gives +24. So for our capital, which has instant, it doesn't have any penalty at all. Superb, I don't think is the best. But I would like to build some roads here. Maybe to make everything a little bit faster, because, you know, every runner comes from the capital. So improving this one is going to improve the entirety of the empire. So, construct roads in the province. Our understanding of road building is insufficient to further upgrade the road network. Fuck me. I wanted to explain something. Alright, well, say we were to build it here. Have we got fully upgraded roads everywhere? Ostperson, can we do it here? Construct roads. Marienburg has religious syncretism. Interesting. Can we construct roads? There we go. Okay. So, what we can do is contribute manpower to the effort. So the road cost upgrade is 387. We can't afford that. What we could do is spend the majority of our manpower and some admin, actually quite a lot of admin, to lower the price by 50%. We can also convince the locals to contribute. So they could contribute like 19 ducats or whatever. We're not going to do it because we really can't afford it, but you can actually get to a point where you don't have to pay anything other than manpower and admin points. We can also do that with forts. So say we wanted to build a fort in the province, contribute manpower. After we do that, we can get the locals to pay some if the locals have money, which is another thing we have to talk about. Like I said, very extensive mod. So every estate has their own treasury. With this treasury, first of all, you can get them to pay for local improvements, forts and roads, but they can also build their own buildings. So the lesser nobles here, they may, if they have enough money, improve the farm estate here. If they improve it enough, that only increases their power, because it makes sense for more rural pubs to grow there. However, with the burghers being in charge of Danzig, they don't want farming buildings. They want stuff like marketplaces and commune halls and trade wharfs, because when they have those, it increases the urban gravity. It will grow the amount of urban population, and it will grow the amount of upper class population. And they will build them themselves. You don't have to do anything. But the buildings become increasingly expensive. So let's have a look at Plock. There's only less than 300 ducats of urban infrastructure. So if we were to build something, say a fishing port, only 150 ducats. We go to Danzig, it's already got one, but we can still see the price. It's 225 ducats. That's because local construction cost goes up by 50% if you have over 900 ducats, whereas it only goes up by nothing if you have less than 300. If we got anything in between, it'd be good to see, actually. There we go, 450 ducats, up by 15%. Crazy, right? And this can get pretty extreme. So if we go to Lübeck, they've got over 2,200 ducats, which increases the price by 140%. That's huge. Like, if they were to build a building, it would be fucking thousands of ducats. Literally thousands of ducats. So, yeah. But if they're controlled by the burghers, and the burghers get a lot of money, I mean, they may just spend that money. It's on pause again. We haven't gone far. It's been what, like 2 episodes? Oh god, this mod. Let's see, can we have a look at privileges yet? There, we could revoke privilege peacefully if we had a stability of 1. So that is something we may consider doing when we get 1 stability. But there's a possibility that you could lose 3. We can offer the favors if we need to. Let's get rid of that a second. So, why would we do this? Firstly, it'll gain loyalty of them. And loyalty is important. If it goes under 40, bad events. Bad events. You don't want that. Also, gives you stability points. And the stronger the noble house, or the stronger the estate, the more stability points it will give you. And that may be what you need. If you're on really low stability, giving some favors, getting that stability up, is kind of important. Yeah, so granting this favor will cause the estate's next privilege amount to come 10% sooner. The estate will gain some money. This wouldn't actually be a bad one. Magnificent gift. I guess that's a recurring one you can do a bunch of times. Gain 2 corruption. Like, you get some pretty nasty things if you go too far. There, granting this privilege generates 0.023 yearly corruption, and this adds up. Like the lesser nobles are giving us 0.283 yearly corruption, and you know, like I said, it adds up. So what do we got here? Lose 50 diplo or 5 prestige. Well, it's the 5 prestige then, of course. I think we might consider building some boats, except we can only build galleys and transports. We can't even build trade ships yet. Interesting. But you apparently... No, you can't either. What are you doing out then? Oh, you're at war, aren't you? I think this is kind of funny. So, Sweden is in war with Sverige, which literally translates to Sweden. It's just Sweden in Swedish. And yes, it's pronounced Sverige, not Sverige. So what is this war anyway? Attack against Sweden in the Erik Magnusson's Rebellion. That's pretty cool, actually. We have 2 forts. I do not want to lower these. What is this modifier? Polish Crownland. This province is part of the Crownlands of the Kingdom of Poland. As such, the King of Poland will always have a claim. Interesting. Death of Pedro, okay. We could take an idea, or we could wait and get some technology. But just to have a look at the idea first. It's not telling me? Will it tell me if I hover over this? There, okay. So, education, level 3, substandard, gives me a plus 5% modifier to the cost. What is education? Well, let's have a look. Going to the states menu, going to the state, education. Every country has an education level. This education level goes up and down depending on how much you fund it. Currently, ours is going down by 0.083%. It has its own bank in its endowment, and we have an education level. If it goes down too far, you will get, well, what am I calling? Further penalties to tech cost and idea cost. So you want to get your education high, so your everything will be cheaper. But obviously that's going to cost you money. The church contributes, and also you can contribute. So if I wanted to increase funding, I could increase by 1. Or increase by 2. This is 2 per year. So I'm going to go back. You can also make a one-time endowment, like 100 ducats, that'll help as well. Basically, you want to make sure you're educating all of the possible pops that you can. Well, the bigger the country, the harder it is to educate everyone, because there's more of them. So that's another kind of limiter, a soft limiter on huge blobby nations, because your tech cost is just going to be out of this world because you can't educate everyone. There's just too many people. Of course, then you may get a famine, and that famine may murder like half your pops, and then your tech cost will be kind of low, but that's going to come when I talk about famines and plagues and province trauma and all that good stuff. It's probably province trauma over here. Army efficiency is shite because it's been looted. War dynamism, surrender timer. Oh yes, surrender timer. That's another thing we have to talk about. So when you occupy a province, you get a surrender timer. Not sure how long it lasts for because we didn't see when this started, but after a while, the enemy can just annex it during the war. Obviously, you can't start coring because you're at war with somebody who owns a core on it, but you can, if you're at war with someone long enough, you can annex their entire country. Which is, at the same time, both kind of scary and amazing. But that is enough for this episode. Again, we have not gone far. 4 years in 2 episodes, and both of those episodes were a tiny bit long. So I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.